Animal Crossing's New Horizons on the Nintendo Switch. Getting ready to buy a house in this video. Is this video number 5 or video number 6? I've lost track. I got a letter earlier today from the Bank of Nook. Apparently, I am earning interest by keeping money in the bank. I had like, what, $11,000 in there, and they gave me 5 bells. Hooray. I mean, do the math, kids. How much do you think that is? It's like 0.5%. Is that less than 0.5%? What are we doing here? So if I'd put all my money in there, I could have gotten 30 bells. That's, well, first of all, that's what a regular savings account pays these days. I mean, you have to get a CD to get more than 2% on any savings account these days. Here in January 2023. I said I'm gonna buy a house. Let me get rid of some stuff first. I don't have enough money to pay off the loan right away, but I have more than enough money to pay for the house. So maybe I should be throwing all my money into this ATM. So we're gonna sell all these shells, of course. Yeah, I guess we're gonna sell the hardwood. But we'll make something out of it first. We'll see how it goes. And I broke my axe, so I have to buy it. I have to make another one anyway. I also have to find another rock so I can make another axe. That's the other problem. I need stones to make more axes. Oh, a bit later. I keep forgetting this. I've set up my Windows narrator to kind of help me study while I do some of my chores playing this game. So I'm gonna memorize my African capitals. But among other things, I practically memorized the Japanese box office over the last 6 hours. Like I was on Wikipedia and I saw the 30 highest grossing films in Japanese box office history, so I think I memorized that. We'll get to that later. But let me dump this money here. So so I'm not going to be earning much interest from this stupid machine. Like, what do you think the interest rate is for this freaking game? Because like I said, I put $5,000 in there, and I found out that I had 5 bells out of the 11. I earned 5 bells of credit on top of the 11,000 that I had in there already. So I guess I can give them 75k. Yeah, I can just put the full amount in there. What difference would it make? It's just a loan. This better not disappear. I could withdraw a few clams. Keep it 500. So if I have to buy anything, I could buy something. And I do want to know what I need for this house, by the way. Other than, just taking out the loan. So after 4 days, I finally earned enough. I mean, I could have just gotten the loan right away, I think. But I wanted to make sure I had enough money to pay it off in one video if I could. So, about my home. $98,000 bells. See, so I have enough money to pay it off pretty shortly. We'll get to that later. How long will it take to get the house? I don't care about. Can I get a green roof? If I can put some flowers on top. Black like Wakanda. Yeah, we'll have a black roof. Actually, we won't. From an environmental standpoint, you would want a white roof to reflect sunlight, but this isn't that kind of game. And I got the Nook Miles Plus program set up, right? I have access to it. Yep, so now I get Nook Miles Plus. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. Remember, this is version 2.0.8. The cartridge, the cartridge that I rented from the Maryland Library System was version 1.8. So I accidentally downloaded a patch a couple of days ago. Don't know if that makes a serious difference, but we'll see what's up. Okay, so where's my loan balance? Yep, I'm on the Nook Miles program. So everything that was paywalled, I can finally get my hands on now. Now, was there anything I wanted? Probably a ticket to another island. We'll get, like this Nook Miles ticket. Please stop by the counter at the airport for details. Not yet. We'll do that. We'll do that in a separate video. I kind of want to establish what I need here. What is this? No. So they are going to tell me what that's for, so we'll worry about that later. Yeah, DIY recipes are worth it, I think. Maybe I'll get stronger tools that don't break as easily. Please place your Nook phone near the terminal to receive the app data. Okay, let's see what's up. I can make stronger tools that won't break so easily now. Okay, that's good. So when can I start terraforming? So that's good. Anything else? Because I don't want clothes or anything. A pocket organization guide? No. Does it give me more space? No. I mean, that's if you actually told me I don't want any hairstyles. New eye colors. I'm not trying to do any of that. Okay, that's good enough for now. And let me check out the ABD and see what my loan balance will be once I'm done paying off. Oh, okay, so it's not showing me the loan balance. Huh. I guess I have to talk to Nook. So let's see what's going on. Yeah, about that house. Because I don't know how long it's going to take to build. Okay, so tomorrow, okay. So where's it going to go? Is it going to replace my tent? Because I got a bunch of stuff on the floor. I kind of don't want to lose it. It might be worth something. Because I can't pay it off right away, so we'll see what we can do. Talk to Phoebe in a second. Gimme. Ha! So we'll sell that. So off the top of my head, what do I remember? From Japan. The highest grossing film in Japanese history is Demon Slayer Mugen Train, of course. 40 million yen at least. And that's what made a third as much money as Spirited Away, which only made 30 million yen. And then there's a bit of a drop off because I think Titanic was next. That made 26 million yen, something like that. Frozen was right after that. It made 25 million. And then there's a massive drop off to the 20 million yen mark. So you have like 4 films, the big 4. Actually, there's one more film. Yeah, Your Name made about 25 million yen. The Makoto Shinkai film from a couple of years. The body switching Freaky Friday film. Replace the tape, whatever. Group stretching sessions. But that's the thing. It's that the big 5 of anime films is those 5 films. Then there's a big drop off down to the $20 million mark, and you start seeing I think there are 3 films down there right now. A new film came out. I think a new One Piece film came out recently called Red. One Piece Red. And it's about to make 20 million yen. We'll see how it goes. I'll double check the box office stats. Because if it gets there, then it'll join that tier of films. I don't know if it's going to make 25 million. Like, I don't know if it's going to do Your Name business. But that's the highest grossing One Piece film ever. In fact, I think it's the only One Piece film to make more than 9 million yen at the box office. So that's saying something. But like I said, in the $20 million... tier, I think Ponyo's there, and one other film I forget is there too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there are like 3 films there, I think, but so there's like the $19 million, 20 million, the 19 million yen tier, the 20 million yen tier has about 3 films in it right now. I think the first Harry Potter film is in that tier actually, in the 20 million yen tier. And Ponyo, I want to say Ponyo and what was the other? Princess Mononoke and Ponyo are in that tier too. Then you drop a few levels to 17 million yen, and that's where you can find the highest grossing live action Japanese film of all time, which is Bayside Shakedown, which I've never heard of. It's not streaming anywhere I'm aware of, even on Hulu. Maybe Amazon has it. There's a fossil I gotta donate. I'll take this box. I'm just worried the stuff won't be here if the house gets replaced. Like if the tent gets bulldozed to make room for the house. But yeah, Bayside Shakedown 2 is very interesting. Because if you look, I went to Wikipedia to look at all of the films that made more than 10 million yen at the Japanese box office. And there aren't that many. Like, I think Bayside Shakedown 1 made about 10 million. The sequel made 13.5 million yen. It's the highest grossing live action Japanese film ever. There are no other films anywhere in that list. I mean, maybe if you adjust for inflation, some Gojira movies probably made a bunch of money. There's a 1983 film called Antarctica. That was the highest grossing Japanese, live action Japanese film of all time. That one I think made about 10 million. It made about as much money as E.T. It was right up there with E.T. for a long time. But for like 2 decades, that Antarctica film that I've never heard of. It might be related to Milo and Otis. I'm not sure. I think that might have been the film that got retitled The Adventures of Milo and Otis when it was brought over to the United States. I'll double check. Or that might be another film. It might be one of those films with a Monogatari name. I don't remember what it was called. It might be a Monogatari film. A Monogatari film, basically. That got renamed Milo and Otis back in the late 1980s, I want to say. I'll double check. I think there's one other live action film called Last Samurai, and I don't think that's the Tom Cruise movie. I think that's the 2003 film from Japan about the Last Samurai. I believe it won the Japanese Academy Award for Best Film that year. So if that's the film I think it is, then that's another Japanese live action film. So basically there are 3 live action Japanese films that are on the list of the top 30 highest grossing films. And if you're wondering how it works, I want to say there are 3 live action... No, let me put it this way. There are 3 Japanese live action films. There are like a dozen anime films. Some Disney films. Some it's all American films it's all American films and some Japanese films. I want to say all the Miyazaki films after Princess Mononoke are on the list. So it's The Wind Rises was his last film that made like 13 million yen. Ponyo, Howl's Moving Castle. I think Howl's Moving Castle and Ponyo are in the same tier. Like all those Miyazaki films from Princess Mononoke all the way up to The Wind Rises are in that list. The 3 Makoto Shinkai films are in there, obviously. So you have Your Name, which is obviously near the top. You have Weathering with You, which made, I think, about 15 million yen. I'll double check. And there's a new Shinkai film called Suzume, I believe the name is, that just crossed the $10 million mark. The 10 million yen mark. So that film, I think that film came out in December. So that film's probably going to make 15 million yen by the time it's all said and done. It'll probably be up there with One Piece Red. It might make it to 20. We'll see how it goes. I think the Japanese box office is back to normal now, so it could work out. By the way, I can't transforming this this hornet's nest, this wasp nest into medicine will not make me any money. And my net just broke. So we'll get to that. I do need a new axe, so we'll get to that as well. So I bought the house, but it's just not ready yet. So I guess I'll have to do the Japanese box office studying in a separate video. I'll connect it to this one. It'll be bonus footage. Well, I do have to sell some stuff, too, so that's another thing. What's craftable? We need a birdhouse, obviously. That's easy money. So I can use all this softwood to make a birdhouse and sell it for some cash, which I can use to pay off the loan. Because remember, kids, we don't own a home. We own a loan for a home. Until we pay off that loan, well, okay. Without getting into a whole legal incident here, if you don't pay off the home, you can be kicked out of the home. That's not really how it works, but just think of it. Just consider what I'm talking about here. If you don't pay off a car loan, they'll repossess your car. So you don't own the car till the loan's paid off. What are we selling? Well, we're selling the birdhouse for starters. And I gotta sell I can't sell the cardboard box. I don't know what it's gonna be used for. Probably gonna sell the clump of weeds. I should be using the hardwood to make something. I just don't know what. I guess I'll eat the peaches. Give me that moth. Yeah, we'll keep all that. We'll be fine. Yeah, I can use the weeds to make an umbrella. A leaf mask or a leaf umbrella. I still think it's hilarious that you can transform these weeds into a helmet. Like an actual, factual motorcycle helmet. Look like a frickin' Power Ranger. Which I'm sure you could if you bought the right clothes. So I guess the loan balance won't show up until tomorrow when the house is ready. Yeah, is there anything I can shop for that I really want? Oh, I forgot to double check. First of all, the Nintendo Switch wasn't available for a couple of days. They brought it back, but now it requires more money than I'm willing to spend. I mean, I might buy it just to see what games I can play, but if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to go online to do that. That's the daily selection. That's the promotion? I wasn't even paying attention to this stuff. Is this like actual furniture? Because I completely forgot this was here. There's that mushroom mural. So I guess this is the stuff I can buy to like complete that objective. I can earn some Nook miles if I complete that objective in my app. Gadomatsu. Doshidama envelope. Why is that? Whatever. I'm glad they're leaning into the Japanese-ness of this game. I mean, I guess they've... First of all, there's also a Korean flag on this New Year's Day that I saw. I'm like, was not expecting that. And the loan balance won't be here, will it? Nope. So I have to wait till tomorrow, I guess, for the house to be completed. So how else do you want to do this? Okay, so I have a watering can, which requires an iron nugget for some reason. And I need a flimsy watering can to make it. That's actually kind of interesting. Stone axe. So I need a flimsy axe to make the stone axe. I need an iron nugget to make this one. So I need iron nuggets, which means I need more rocks, if I'm being honest. Fishing rod with a net. It's a stronger net. So we'll do that, and I'll need fewer stones. So if this axe doesn't break as often, that means I don't need as many stones, but I do need to round up some stones. So I got a flimsy axe, which I can use to make this better axe. I need iron nugget to make that. And to get iron nuggets, I have to crack open a rock, most likely. So we'll make this stone axe. Be a real caveman. Just like the caveman ninja. Just like the caveman ninja. Let's see. I believe Joe and Mac 1 and 2 are available. In fact, I believe the arcade game for Joe and Mac is available on one of those. Like at Target, they sell those stupid little mini arcade cabinets with the ROMs inside of them. That's probably what they're doing with Joe and Mac. Joe and Mac was not a great game. I beat it when I rented it back in the day. The arcade game was apparently less fair. It was because it's a quarter muncher, obviously, but it was sort of. It had decent music and some very good visuals, but it was a pretty unremarkable side-scrolling game. Pretty unremarkable side-scrolling platformer when I played it. Wonder how expensive that game is now. It might be like in the $20-$30 range, I think. Which isn't terrible for a early 90s platformer on that console, but I could just sell the hardwood. I'm not using it for anything else. Like, you can't, I don't even know what the hardwood's even used for, really. I might as well just sell it. Because I'm not using it to make anything just yet. I can also see what they have for sale over here. So we'll sell that with the weed. And some peaches. Not going to sell the cardboard box. So I'm just basically just taking the cash and running. Give me the loot. So what's the next plan? Yeah, I'm supposed to sell the wasp nest. I'm not paying attention. I'll see what Nook has to say about the house that's being built. Yeah, sell that. Sell the flimsy shovel, but we're not done yet. I guess I can make another net at some point. Yeah, I guess I'll go to the airport to see what's going on with the Nook miles. If I visit another island, I can gather some more resources. I just hope I don't need to go online to visit another island. Yeah, so again, when you eat fruit, you get a little bit more energy, which you can use to crack rocks and dig up trees for transplanting. They don't really run any faster, I don't think. So what should I do now that you've got me on the noose for $98,000? Yeah, buy more crap at the company store. Without my own. I might buy cheap stuff, but again, this isn't like The Sims. The stuff you buy doesn't serve any mechanical purpose. Like, it doesn't make you happier. Like in the game, like in The Sims, you have a mood meter, and having nice surroundings increases your mood rating. Yeah, I'm good. Well, I've been asking for help, and all you've been giving me are loans. Loans and drip feeding me more relatively meaningless content. So yeah, thanks for helping, I guess. Still nothing. I still don't know what this box is for. Again, so I guess I'll go to the airport and see if there's anything going on there with the tickets I buy. Because I'm not going to buy it yet till I know what the Nook miles are for. Okay, I don't have a net. It's just another moth anyway. Let's chat. Well, if you want like a part, you can bring the radio over here if you want. So we're going to the airport. We'll see what's up. Oh, Antonio's probably in here. So let's see what he's doing. Nothing important. So we added some more furnishings. I do like how they add more furnishings to their houses after a while. Like, they replaced their 10 with a house. And you can see the things they're buying, but it doesn't look very useful. So you're expecting natural disasters, and you came here anyway. I was just trying to steal some stuff. Well, I can steal his workbench to craft something, huh? Like what? Slightly better shovels. I can make, yeah, I have enough tree branches to make this crappy net. I mean, I might make a better one, but I think it requires ingredients I don't have. Like, I don't think I can use the hardwood for anything, right? Yeah, I don't think I can make anything I really want. Yeah, I can't make a better... Yeah, there's the net. So I need an iron nugget. Well, the iron nugget's probably used for the frame. where the netting goes. So screw that. So I need iron, basically. I need to crack open rocks to get iron. And I think I have some Nook miles I can turn in. Got a blue dot here. Yep, Nook miles plus. My rank is increased. Makes it even easier to earn miles, huh? How? Oh, wait. Got stuff to claim up here. Press plus. Group stretching. Plant flower seeds. I already did. I guess I can plant some more. I can use my phone. I can take a picture. Redeem Nook miles here because I got Nook miles. So I redeemed the Nook miles. Okay. Catch a black bass. Don't get me started on that. Catch a moth. That's easily done. Okay, so we'll take a picture. Give me a second. Simple stuff. Click. Didn't mean to do that, but it counts as a picture, and they saved it in my album, which I don't care the least bit about. Nook miles plus. Up here. Capture a memory. Done. So I got twice as many Nook miles, I guess. Sell clumps of weed. Sell 20 of them. Too late. I already sold a bunch. I just have to grab some more off the ground. Plant flower seeds. So can I like dig up some flowers I already have and replant them? That sounds like the kind of exploit I would love. So how many so we'll talk about the animated films later. So we got 3 Makoto Shinkai films. 5 Miyazaki films in the Japanese box office? So it's like what? Mononoke, Spirited Away, Ponyo, Howl's Moving Castle, The Wind Rises. Did I miss one? That should be all of them. That's 5. So 5 Miyazaki films. Let me get my net. There we go. So 5 Miyazaki films, 3 Shinkai films, a Demon Slayer, the Demon Slayer movie, one of the One Piece movies. So that's 10. Is there one I'm missing? Yeah, Evangelion 3 plus 1. Thrice Upon a Time made the list. I think it made about 11 million yen, something like that. No other Evangelion films are on the list. None of the Dragon Ball movies made the list. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 I think it made like 15 million yen, so that's on the list. So it's the third, well, it's the second highest. No, because Cloverworks has a bunch of films. But again, remember, there weren't very few shonen anime ever made the list. Until Demon Slayer made it big, none of the anime in the top 30 were shonen. They were all like Miyazaki films and Shinkai films, and yeah, that was it. They were all like shoujo. They were all shoujo films. None of the One Piece movies made it until recently, obviously. So that's huge. 5 more exhibit items, so we'll get to that. If we dig them up, we'll see what happens. So yes, so it's like 10 animated films. Got him. So it's like 10 animated films, 2, possibly 3 Japanese live action films. If The Last Samurai film from 2003 is a Japanese live action film that I think it is, that's on the list. Okay, I have some Nook mobs I gotta turn in at the top of the screen here. So let's claim that moth money. In fact, I went on Quora recently and asked chop down trees. I think I need a better axe for that. Because I can dig them up. I don't know if I can chop them down. Over here. But remember, like a bunch of those films are, like I said, Frozen 1 and 2 are on the list. The Disney live action, some of the Disney live action remakes are there. So, what was it? Yeah, Aladdin and Beauty and the Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast remakes both made the list. Lion King did not. Lion King didn't make as much money as those other two films did. Alice in Wonderland from 2010 made the list. So that's kind of surprising. I mean, I guess I didn't really expect The Lion King to do that well over there. The remake, anyway. Maybe the original animated film made a bunch of money back in the day. And of course, Avatar and Titanic did extremely well over there. Remember, Titanic was like the box office champion until Princess Mononoke knocked it out. Because Titanic out-earned E.T. It was a massive deal. It was huge in Japan. By the way, I'll double check. It looks like on New Year's weekend, that Avatar sequel made another $60 million. So I think they're in the $360 million range here in the U.S. I think about $400 million right now. So it's not going to beat Endgame, and it's not going to beat the original Avatar, but it'll probably make, about as much money as one of the Bayformer sequels did. So it'll do fine. Like, they're making a third one. You can't not make Avatar 3 if this made $500 million just by showing up. And it made $1.5 million, and it made $1 billion already around the world. I'm not going to the theater to see anything right now, but if I get lucky, I might be able to see something at noon. At noon on a Sunday in February. It'll still be in theaters in February. Whoops, that's bad. Well, it's not terrible. They won't do any real damage to me. I'm trying to get in. I tried to get in. Yeah, well. There might be some Nook miles in it for me if I heal myself with a medicine, but whatever. I tried to go in here and I pressed the button and I wound up swinging at the door when I meant to go inside. But like I said, it's a good thing there's no fail state for any of this. Yeah, I was supposed to see what he has for sale, so we'll double check in a second. Outdoor generator, campfire cookware. I can plant one more flower. I have to plant 3 of these. So we'll just get the cheap stuff. Got all that. Peaches are everywhere. We'll only need 3, so I'll just buy 3 individually. Again, I'm not picky about what the flowers are. I'm just grabbing whatever. Like, it's like I'm only buying this stuff because I want the Nook. I want the Nook miles. That's what I'm talking about. It's just stupid. A terrible purchase. Why are you wasting your money? What would you expect him to say? I can't really. I gotta sell the damselfly, of course. Sell the moss. I don't think why do I even need the cot? Yeah, why do I even need that? I might as well just sell that. I don't even know what I need the box for. I mean, like, I don't need to sleep. Like, what's the point of even having the cot? It was just to, like, advance through the prologue. It's the only reason why I even had that stupid cot. I guess I'll keep the box. We're fine. Cool. Yeah, it's more than enough money, so that won't be a problem. I mean, if anything, I'm just hoarding money to see what I get for my trouble at some point. Might not even be worth anything. Give me that. If nothing else, I'm just hoarding wood so I can make more birdhouses to make more money. The other problem with having all these trees around is I can't see behind them. So that's not great. I was supposed to sell like a clump of 20 weeds. I'm supposed to... I'll grab some along the way while I'm doing other things. But yeah, having these trees in the way is not great because I can't see behind them. So I have to keep rotating the camera to see if there's anything hidden behind those tree trunks. That's not great. So I'm in that sort of, what, a liminal space? I guess I'm just kind of in that liminal space where I'm like, okay, am I doing anything that's actually interesting, or am I just going through the motions at this point? Because if I need to do chores, I can just play Warframe or Terraria. Let's plant this crap. Yellow rose plant. Yellow mum plant. Red pansy plant. I don't have a watering can. I forgot to sell the... I picked up the hornet's nest, but I need to sell that eventually. So they'll grow anyway, so whatever. So I guess I can look for some seashells, sell those. Is there anything else I needed? I want to say no. Yeah, I'm supposed to go to the airport, see what's doing. I have room. Now I don't have to sell 20 clumps of weed at once, because I can sell them in small batches till I complete my objective, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. But as far as the Japanese box office goes, I'm trying to see what was the box office like before Mononoke came out. I'm not sure where to find that information, because it's like before Mononoke came out, what were the highest grossing films? Obviously E.T., Antarctica, that Milo and Otis Monogatari film, whatever that one was. So I'll see what that's about. Apparently there was like an Olympic, I think like the Tokyo Olympics were like in theaters, opening ceremonies were in theaters, and that made a lot of money back in like the 70s or the 80s, I don't remember. When were the Olympics in Tokyo before, like in the 20th century? I'm trying to remember when, because it wasn't in 88, that was Seoul. 84 was yeah, 84 was in Los Angeles. I want to say 80 was in Moscow. It was 76 might have been in Moscow, I believe. No, it was 1980 because of the whole Afghanistan thing. So I think we bounced from the 80 Summer Olympics. We're using local play. Roger. But I'm not trying to like play with another human being. Close. So now what? No, I'm not sending a message. Nope. Not wasting money on that crap. Just give me a holla holla. What can I do you for? So he's like the eagle in Tiny Teen Adventures, I guess. So I can't play on another island because I can't go online. So maybe that's the problem. I mean, I can go online. I just don't want to go online. And the Nook so the ticket won't do me any good because I can't go online, right? I'm not. I mean, it's like, hey, when I visit my island, like, what's on the island? Pictures of inappropriate stuff. That could be a problem. I mean, I think we're fine. Oh, wait, give me that. Give me that. So we're selling that. So we're gonna. So I have to grab some more weed on the way back to the shop, so I can sell all this crap. All the auto saving is nice, but yeah, it's just again not enough worthwhile activities. I'm afraid. I don't even want to go across the river really. I mean, I still could. It's just that I have to find a safe place to store my crap. Can I like dump my hardwood? Can I dump my hardwood in Phoebe's house? I'm sure she wants a bunch of wood lying all over her house. I mean, again, if nothing else, a tent is just a safe place to just hoard extra stuff you don't want to carry with you. In my case, it's hardwood. Again, I don't mind using all this to make birdhouses because that's easy money. I think I can chop off some wood every day with this axe. So I'm always gonna have enough wood to make other stuff to make money, even if it's just like log stakes or whatever. But again, like this is the basic gameplay loop, trying to find something that's worth doing, and a lot of the stuff just isn't worth doing, I'm afraid. But yeah, I've been meaning to. I need to get back. I know I'm going to be able to memorize. I have to convert. I don't know how to convert yen to dollars yet, because obviously the dollar is kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, all you need to know is that Demon Slayer Mugen Train made all the money, and no one's even going to come close to beating it. Like, it might be another decade before anyone even gets close. But then again, if Miyazaki's making another film, he might get another 15 million yen just for showing up. I mean, The Wind Rises is actually kind of boring, so it probably did as well as it did because you know, Miyazaki still has all that goodwill built up. I mean, I saw it. I didn't see it in theaters, but I was kind of mad about the fact that Disney wasn't advertising it. Like, I was on Facebook saying, why didn't Disney tell me this film was in theaters? I'm literally the person you advertise this movie to. Like, there might be like 2 human beings on Facebook who might be more interested in seeing that film than me, and one of them was probably Hayao Miyazaki himself. So it's like, if you're not telling me, I guess the argument is if I knew the film was coming out, I wouldn't have to be on Facebook, but it's one of those things. I mean, and to be honest, I don't think I needed to go to the theater to see that movie. I saw it on DVD and I was fine. 2 hours later, I felt I got my money's worth. Which was no money because I got it for free from the library. Okay, so we're gonna sell these weeds and check out my Nook Mall, see what's up, because I planted those flowers already. Yeah, over there. And what was that thing? Group stretching session. Sell 20 weed, easily done. Okay, so I might need to eat some stuff before I can chop down these trees. And catch bugs. Well, I got a bunch of moths. Yeah, should have told me that before I sold those 2 moths, but whatever. There's just more Nook Miles I can earn. How much weed do I have? Yeah, I have enough to sell. And I can sell that, I can sell those nests as well. But that's just more money. You know, this is precisely what I was worried about. It's like, okay, so I have the money, or I will have the money to pay off the house right away, but it's not ready yet. Yeah, Sonic movie wasn't at the box. Wasn't big in wasn't that big in Japan. The Force Awakens is the only Star Wars movie in the top 30. No Marvel cinematic films have done that well in Japan, shockingly. Well, they haven't done that. They've done well, apparently, but they haven't done that well. Like, none of the Avengers games are there. None of the Avengers movies are there. Stuff like that, which is what you would expect. What's craftable? Yeah, the flimsy axe. Nothing else? Yeah, we're going to make this. Yeah, we got to make the birdhouse. I need one more clump of softwood, darn it. That's okay. I wanted to make 2. I just didn't have enough softwood. Okay, what else? We're gonna sell about 20 clumps of weed, so let me get to that. I gotta break it up. You know how it is. So I have to do this one at a time. Oh, I can't do it that way. Okay. So that's how you do it? There has to be a better way to do this. I'll tell you what. I'll make some leaf umbrellas. Like, not a bunch of them, then I'll sell the rest of the weeds. Because I only need to sell 20 of them. So I can make like 10 leaf umbrellas or something. Leaf mask, that takes 10. The umbrella makes 15, so I'll sell the rest of the weeds. Or maybe I'll be able to break it down eventually, don't worry. We're not going to complicate things. I'm like micromanaging this crap. Yeah. I could just pull up another weed and solve that problem. So that's easily done. See, again, I made a helmet out of leaves. I made a red helmet out of green leaves. So why not? Yeah, so the birdhouse, the leaf umbrella, the leaf mask, the weeds, and the nest. And the moths. Again, they didn't count towards my Nook miles. They didn't capture them when the mission was active. Just dumb stuff. So I have to dig deeper and see. I have to see all the. Again, One Piece Red is the highest grossing One Piece film of all time by like a mile. It's made twice as much money as any other one. Like some of the One Piece films did do well. Like a couple of them made like $100 million at the box office. They've performed about as well as like Sing 2. Like they aren't in the upper tier of blockbusters. They aren't in the Despicable Me category, but they're not in the Minions territory. They're down further, like with the Sonic the Hedgehogs and stuff. So it's like they're making money. They're not doing gangbusters, Marvel Cinematic Universe like business. But these films like the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, they make a lot of money domestically. They just don't make much of money anywhere else. They're like reliable performers apparently, but this One Piece Red movie has completely blown the doors off. Like, I don't know why that film's doing as well as it is. Okay, so get one clump of weed and sell that. Anything else? I gotta sell that one clump of weed. Give me a second. No Nook miles yet. We'll get that in just a second. Because once I sell this pack of weed, I'll have the 20 clumps I'll need to get those Nook miles. So yeah, I was kind of hoping there'd be more stuff to do without requiring an online collection, and maybe it's just not. Maybe the game's just not like that. Like Warframe is free. Gems of War is free. I don't mind going online for that stuff. Occasionally. But I would not spend $60 on a game that required an internet connection to actually be entertaining. So that's a dagger as far as I'm concerned. Sell that hardwood. Let's collect the money. Again, it's all going to be used to pay off the house anyway. Oh, I just found out. Today I learned, after doing the Japanese box office updates, I found out that I was checking out African geography. Turns out the most populous city in Africa is not Lagos, Nigeria. Kinshasa apparently just surpassed it in 2022. So Kinshasa, right on the Congo. Right, was it Kinshasa? It's Kinshasa and Brazzaville on opposite sides of the river? I forget. Because the Democratic Republic of the Congo, formerly called Zaire, that's where Kinshasa is. And Brazzaville, I believe, is the capital of Congo. And both nations are on opposite sides of the river. It's kind of like the Rio Grande. Though, of course, the Congo is a much wider river than the Rio Grande is. But yeah, I got to read up on that. Because I read about Kinshasa a few years ago. I've been trying to read up on it. Because I believe there's actually like an island in the middle of the river that includes most of Kinshasa. That or Lagos might be like. I think Lagos in Nigeria is like built on an island. I have to double check that. But Lagos was the most populous city in Africa. I want to say it had 25 million people. which is insane because it used to have like its population doubled in like a decade and a half. I want to say. I mean, Nigeria still has more people than any other African country, but I think it's over 200 million right now. I'm very curious to know what that film industry is like. By the way, like they haven't had like any big hits anywhere outside of Nigeria. I don't think it's kind of like India. It's very domestic, but I'm curious. I'm curious what will happen when they blow up, because Nigeria is going to be a very fascinating place to visit. I think it might already be up there because it like that entire part of Africa is really rich with a lot of cultural opportunities as far as like art and cinema and music. I'm very curious to know how that shakes out as they get more international. I could probably spend more time on. Like I do want to. One thing you could do on YouTube is like find some videos from like people who are familiar with the area, but I don't know if they're all in a dialect of English I can understand. Because I know Nigerians do speak English. It's just some of them use a dialect that I'm not really able to parse. No, I'm trying to grab the moth. There we go. So I think I need to grab one more because I have a Nook achievement for that. So let's go to my Nook miles. I can claim these. Yep, sell clumps of weed. Catch bugs, done. So that's the easy stuff. Chop wood, that's actually easily done too. Again, I don't want to waste time gathering. I don't want to waste time gathering fish. It's a big fat waste of time. Oh, there's something else down there I forgot to do. There we go. Nook miles for miles. Earning Nook miles for earning Nook miles. So I just finished goals, but where will it end? I'm a so-called ground traveler. Okay, nothing else. Okay, so I might want to... I gotta sell some more of this stuff. So we'll hop across the... Before we end the video, we'll hop across the river and see what's up. We'll vault across the river. But yeah, I gotta go somewhere else. I can't just stay here on this island. I don't want to have to go online to get some actual content. Don't get me started on that crap. Not interested. And no more holes in the ground for me to dig up either, huh? Of course, it might not be easy to see with all these trees in the way either. So that might be another reason to chop. That might be another reason to clear cut. Or maybe put them against a cliff face. But the idea is there are no cliffs, there are no plateaus on this part of the island, so everything here is sea level. So I sold my cot. Anything else? Yeah, I gotta sell that damselfly. I mean, I guess I could leave one thing in here. Like I said, I've spent so much time gathering this wood, I didn't want to waste any of it. I don't mind selling it for cash, but I don't know how long I don't know how long it would take me for me to get 30 clumps of hardwood. It's not guaranteed. Again, what do I need the hardwood for? I mean, I don't know. I'm using the softwood and the regular wood to make birdhouses for money, but the hardwood doesn't seem to be part of any recipes that I need. Gimme. So we're just selling all these bugs, whatever. So we're going to end the video. Whoop! And my net's dead. My net exploded. I caught too many moths with it, I guess. Those cheap commodity toys that are on the container ships from Asia, I guess. Good enough. I should have enough money to pay off the loan, actually. Yeah, full amount. Yep, that's enough. So I can withdraw about 500. That's still enough to pay off the loan. So I'll let your boy have enough money to pay for a house in a video game. And I'm earning about as much interest in this video game as I am in real life. Wait, is that regular wood? Yeah, we gotta make some. Yeah, we're gonna use this to make some. Actually, can I leave this here? They probably won't let me leave it here. We'll find out what happens. Yeah, I can't leave it here. Which makes sense, I guess. Again, I'm pressing all the buttons. I have no idea how to, like, put stuff in here. It just drives me nuts. I have no idea what that's for. I found a cardboard box in there, and now I don't even know what the cardboard box is for. It's just dumb. Do I really want another moth? It's just, I mean, it's worth like $100 or something. There's my vault. Anything else over here? Yeah, we'll worry about that later. I do want some more rocks though, because I need to replace this axe at some point. Yeah, I'm gonna whoop. We did loot. I might chop some wood too while I'm here. But I lost my nets or whatever. I can't even grab any more animals. No more hole. Whoa, wait, hold on. Shovel. Wrong way. There it is. Clump of cash. Of course, it just sits there. I can give it to somebody, or I can just keep it in my stash. But it's taking up space, so I have to like put it away. Like, why would I just drop that? Like, am I gonna run it? Whoop. Wait, I don't have a net. So again, I found Casper here, but I don't know what to actually do with him. And I haven't seen any manila clams lately, by the way. Yep, that's the hermit crab. Okay, I was hoping I can't capture him because I didn't have the net. I don't have a slingshot, so I'm not gonna be able to shoot that down. Whatever. Got a lot of shells here. I'm cleaning up. No holes in the ground to dig up though, and no water spouts. Maybe do the clams only show up in the day? That would explain why there are no water spouts here on the beach. Yeah, no water spouts. Oh well. Yeah, they kind of stumped me here. Oh, here we go. Now we're talking. Might be another fossil. Nope, over here. Wrong button. So yeah, further research. I gotta find a list of the Japanese box office from like the 90s. There might be like an archived Japan Times article or something that lists them. Like you might be able to find some articles from like some business publications back when Mononoke came out, because obviously the film, when Mononoke won the Japanese box office, CNN was talking about it. So the argument is, what other films? There might be like some factoid where they're like, hey, here are all the other films at the Japanese box office that made a bunch of money. So they might have been reporting on it at the time. That will help me kind of figure out what the situation was over in Japan. Because I first heard about the film in 97. No, I first heard about it in 99 when I was in university. Because CNN was covering. I think I recorded the CNN story about it. And I saw the clips looked phenomenal, obviously. It blew my... That stuff was mind-blowing back in 99. Like, it obviously didn't look as good as, like, you know, Beauty and the Beast or Toy Story, but it looked really good when it came out. Although one could argue, like, the animation wasn't as good as, like, a Beauty and the Beast. But, hold on, I got something. Is that a furniture recipe? A silver mic. I mean, okay, fine. Yeah, I should have an axe. There we go. But give me that good wood. Okay, we gotta swap that out for the grass, obviously. The least important bit of my inventory is the grass, obviously. Guess I gotta keep the hardwood. Got 5 sand dollars. Good lord. We're gonna probably have to drop something if we get that fossil up here. Okay, so there's a fossil up here. Hold on. Fossil up here, I gotta come back for it. Let's sell some of this stuff, then we'll get the fossil. Because I'm allowed to stack seashells. Drop it. I'm willing to hoard these tree branches. I can use these to make more nets, like the ones that just broke. Like, I've been meaning, yeah, I know some Ghibli fans from back in the day, and like from the like back in the mid '90s. Back, I met them on Usenet, and in fact, I met him again on Facebook a couple of years ago. He's all grown up now. But what was it? I think he's a Canadian, and he was on the Ghibli mailing list. Yes, right. The archives are on the internet, so I'm willing to bet the Ghibli archives. I've been studying the box office of the Miyazaki films, because I think that the guy I was talking to, he was the guy who said, "Oh yeah, Miyazaki's films make a bunch of money all the time," and this is before Mononoke. So like, Kiki and Totoro, like they made a bunch of money in Japan. They weren't like box office super champions or anything, but they were making a lot of money. Like, like a Pixar, like a garden variety Pixar film would, like Sing or Sing 2, like a Minions film. Like back in the mid '90s, like not every film made as much money as Terminator 2, but there were a bunch of blockbusters, like your Total Recalls, your Dick Tracy's. The original Top Gun Maverick, by the way, is on that list that I was talking about. I think it made like $12 or $13 million. But the original Top Gun made like $150 million in America. Like it was the highest grossing film of the year it came out. But Top Gun, as popular as it was nowhere near as popular as like Ghostbusters or Beverly Hills Cop. Those films were titans. Those films were like all-timers. And Top Gun did fine. It did very well, but it wasn't in that stratosphere of box office totals. Like, it's the difference between Batman Returns and the first Batman film. Like, it's the difference between like the Superman films and Jack Nicholson's Batman, or The Dark Knight Returns, or any of those other films. It's the difference between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. That's the difference in box office that we're talking about. So Mononoke was like the E.T., the Titanic, the Gone with the Wind of Japanese cinema for a while. And then 2 years later, Spirited Away knocks it off the top. Makes even more money. And then, of course, like 14 years later, like, 'cause Spirited Away came out in 2001. Demon Slayer does it in the wildest possible scenario. It makes a third as much money as Spirited Away does in a pandemic. Well, the lockdowns just ended. So, I mean, that's the thing. If you told me that a shonen film based on a TV show and a manga would be the highest grossing film of all time in Japanese, I would not have believed you. And it came out during a pandemic. Like, everything was working against Demon. Like, Demon Slayer was gonna make money. Like, it was a popular show. It was, in a normal year, it probably would have made like $20 or $30 million. In a normal year, it probably would have made like 10 million yen, probably. And it would have made about as much money as your average One Piece movie does, I would argue. Like right around 8-9 million yen, I think. But anime just blew the heck up in 2020. And people, for some reason, they were able to leave the house. They had to go see this movie. And it made all the money. There were theaters in Japan that were only showing that film and nothing else. People were going back to see it multiple times, obviously. Like, everything just fell into place for in a way, and I'm still kind of astonished it did as well as it did, because when Your Name made as much money as it did, that was in 2019, I think. That was Japan saying, this is the word of mouth. Like this romantic teen body switching, comedy. This is a light comedy, makes a stupid amount of money. The director is like, the movie's not that good. I have no idea what the film's as popular it is. I mean, keep in mind, he's not Miyazaki. This director had never made a film that made a bunch of money before this. Shinkai did a couple of good short films that I had seen. I hadn't seen his other stuff, but I did like 5 centimeters a second. If they re-released that, it could probably, well, it was only a 1 hour film. In fact, it was like an anthology of 3 short films, basically. But that film, if you re-release that film in theaters, it could probably make 10 million yen. So it probably sold pretty well on video after Your Name blew up. But yeah, I mean, in a way, that film was kind of an example of what Japanese films were kind of going for, aesthetically. Like it's a 2D film, but all the artwork is digital. Mononoke was a mix of the two, but yeah, most anime films are made that way these days. They're all digital. But again, shonen anime normally don't do that well. And Demon Slayer was the first shonen anime to like really knock it out of the park in terms of box office receipts. So now One Piece is doing well. The Evangelion films are doing exceptionally well. Most of them are doing exceptionally well. I think all of them have done reasonably well. Evangelion 3+1 did very well, actually, as I mentioned. Thrice Upon a Time did very well. It's in the 10 million yen club. What was the other one? But yeah, the One Piece, Detective Conan films come out like every other year, it seems, and they do reasonably well. They aren't in like the stratosphere. Like I said, they're like Sing. They're like Sing 2. They make a lot of money. They aren't blockbusters, but they're singles. They aren't doing Dark Knight money. They're doing Batman Begins money, I guess. Got a fossil to assess. Yeah, and we'll dig up the other one I found in a bit later. In fact, I could probably leave some of this wood back in my tent, because it's not going to disappear in the next hour or so. But what was that other? I think I covered, like I mentioned, like 3 of the Harry Potter films were in that top 30. I think the Goblet of Fire is in the top 40, something like that. Like it didn't make 10 million yen, or it made a little bit less than 10 million yen. But a lot of the Harry Potter films did very well. The only Lord of the Rings film in that list is Return of the King. The first 2 Lord of the Rings films aren't there. None of the Hobbit films are there, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, Return of the King made money everywhere, so I wouldn't be surprised that film got an extra push. That film was incredibly popular when it came out. I mean, it's the one Lord of the Rings film I actually like unreservedly. Although I did kind of like Two Towers. I like the back half of Two Towers. I'll admit that, because there was a bit back in the day when a bunch of people who weren't on board with the Fellowship of the Ring got on board in a big way when Two Towers came out, and then Return of the King dropped, and it was like getting praise from people who didn't even like the first 2 films. But there were a lot of concessions made because it wasn't that faithful a story, obviously. Like I remember one of my friends back in the day, she was a huge Tolkien fan, loved the Fellowship of the Ring. Like as a tourist trap, Fellowship of the Ring's a fantastic film, I guess. But she did not like Two Towers. She was really upset with the changes they made to the story. I can understand why they did. And Roger Ebert was a little bit upset with the first 2 films, because it's like he liked the first film as because he thought it was promising, but he was really disappointed. He thought Two Towers was a near miss. Like he didn't like the film becoming like a Conan film in his opinion. So he did not like the direction the films went. But I wasn't really invested in the books, to be honest. But I am sort of curious how they turned out, because I mean I have friends who are huge like Lord of the Rings fans from back in the day, big fantasy novel readers. like the Avalon books. That's how, but they're big nerds. So we'll drop that. I'm gonna have to drop these sticks. Not opposed to that. We can drop these peaches. I mean, I guess I can eat one and then drop the rest. Okay, so we'll dig up that fossil and see what's up, then we'll end the video. We'll come back here, grab the rest of these before the house gets built. If the Japanese, yeah, I am fascinated with those Bayside shit because they're probably not even good comedies. They're supposed to be like buddy action comedies, as I recall. I guess they're kind of like Police Academy. They're like a cross between Police Academy and I think they're supposed to be like a cross between like Beverly Hills Cop and Police Academy. I think they're also based on a TV show. I have to double check. Like I said, they were extremely popular, and I think they made a third one. It just wasn't considered good. I think that might have killed the franchise. But I don't know no one I know who follows Japanese film. Most obviously the people I know are anime nerds, but no one talks about Bayside at all. Like people were talking about what's his name Kitano, Takeshi beat Kitano. You know, the Japanese dirty hair. They were talking about him because he did the Yakuza movie, those really popular Yakuza trilogy films. Fireworks was very well received from that game. In fact, Fireworks is streaming for free. What's it called? Hana B. That Fireworks movie was rather well received when it came out. I've been meaning to get around to that. And he did a baseball movie back in the mid '80s called Boiling Point, which is kind of interesting. I think it's kind of like the Japanese Bad News Bears. Sounds, yeah, Boiling Point's on my it's in my queue. I'm supposed to be watching that pretty shortly. Seemed like a really interesting piece of mid '80s Japanese mundanity. In fact, there was like what was that guy's name? Hiro Kaeida. There was a film about a kid who like made, I think it was called Wish. Yeah, it's about some Japanese kids who heard that if you make a wish while two trains are passing in opposite directions, the wish comes true. So it's about Japanese school kids back in the early 2000s, I think. That's a bit more of a slice of life Japanese movie, so I'm kind of curious about that one. And I think Koreeda did another film I forgot about that's supposed to be kind of interesting. But again, he does like slice of life Japanese films. I don't know if he's like Ozu, because I don't know if you've heard Tokyo Story from Ozu was voted like the 4th or 5th best film of all time by some Japanese film critics. Not Japanese, by some the BFI, the British Film Institute, did their Sight and Sound poll back in 2022. They're a decade. Every decade they do a new poll. The last one was in 2012, and Vertigo was number 1. They did a new poll in 2022, and Vertigo was beaten by a French feminist film I've never heard of, and I can't even remember the title. No one ever talked about it ever, but I think maybe it got re-released in the last decade, and some critics were like, "Look, you gotta see this. Like, it's phenomenal." It came out in like 1962. I think it came out like 1965. Actually, I believe it was directed by a woman. I believe it's like a 1960s feminist film that I've never heard of. But everyone's heard of Vertigo and Citizen Kane, and they were obviously on the list. Tokyo Story's in the top 4 of the top 5. If you go to like the high 90s, you'll see like Jordan Peele's Get Out in there. Spirited Away, I believe, is number 8 on that BFI sound. So it's the highest rated animated film in that poll is Spirited Away, and I'm not complaining about that. And I think I stabbed the fish that was in the water there. Oh well. So I'll let me get these clams. I guess I can chop some wood too while I'm here. Oh yeah, the axe is already broken, so whatever. As long as the vaulting pole doesn't break, it's not a flimsy vaulting pole, so I guess I'll be fine. And this message in a bottle will have a DIY message in it, obviously. Open it up. Got a message from Megan Thee Stallion. Terrarium. That reminds me, I should be playing a much better game right now. A game about a collective of terrariums. Why play with a virtual terrarium when you can play a game about a real Terraria? Or, yeah, like I said, this game just makes me want to play Terraria. The drip feed is too slow for me. I'm like, I might as well just play Terraria. There was some crap here. I think there were some bugs crawling around on that rock, but whatever. Yeah, no clams. I guess they only show up during the day. Let me check my Critterpedia. Actually, do these guys show up in the Critterpedia? Because they're technically not sea creatures. And I got some Nook miles. Yep, I got my wood. You said wood. The old snowfolk. Okay, so we have to, like, roll snowballs and then stack them to make a snowman. Like Elsa in Frozen. Like, whatever. No, I don't want to build a snowman. Unsolicited opinion time. Frozen's a bad movie. I said it. Stay mad. I mean, everyone's over here getting mad at, like, reasonably well-made films from, like, the 1960s, and you're stumping for Frozen. Get out of here with that. Why complain about story when you can why complain about story when you can when you can target a particular group of people you don't like very much by saying that you like a movie they would hate? Yes. Imagine weaponizing criticism by not actually talking about the movie, just talking about the kinds of people who would dislike this movie and liking it for that reason. Like that's at some point we got to grow out of this. I guess the 20-somethings are too invested in the whole cultural war. I mean, adults are doing this too, obviously. I know 60-year-old film critics who are like, oh yeah, the people I hate are going to hate this movie, therefore it works as a troll. This movie's good because it trolls the people I hate. This is basically film criticism now for some people. I guess I'm old school. How's the storytelling? I remember when Civil War came out. When I saw Civil War, I'm like, okay, this film has its moments. This film has some really good stuff in it, but the whole idea about the stakes of superheroism, the stakes of international superheroism being determined because a tiny bomb went off, and because a tiny like a tiny car bomb, I guess, went off in Act 1, and then a bunch of people sat around a room talking about the stakes. I'm like, literally telling and not showing. It's like I said, I have to talk about that later, because it's like, if you're going to make a film that establishes, for instance, the stakes in a war, you kind of have to make the conversation. You have to craft the conversation in a way so you can establish what the stakes are involved. You can't just have people sitting around a room talking about it like it's a group meeting. Like, you have to, like, stage it so there's a bit more like oomph to it. You know what I mean? Like, a good movie would make it like 12 Angry Men, I guess. But again, make people feel the stakes. Don't just have people talk about what the stakes are. Make people feel it, you know? It's not easy to do, but it's like, I think there's this sensibility that so long as you're talking about the stakes in grave terms, it's as good as actually establishing them. But again, remember, it's the same problem I have with a lot of anime. It's like a bunch of people explain the plot, so therefore you know it's important, because if you follow it along, it's like reading it from a book. But I mean, it's like, at some point you kind of have to, like, convey visually what the stakes are instead of just kind of alluding to it. There's a whole conversation to be made about Civil War later. But let's just say that if the stakes were like, it's like at the end of what was that Avengers film? Like at the end of the film, when if characters are gonna die, don't make it a fake out. Like make me. In other words, I'm on the Matt Zeller sites argument, which is don't just make the characters disappear. Like literally make me believe they're dead. Like Transformers the movie, you believed Optimus Prime was dead. You believed all those Autobots were dead. At the end of what was that darn event? Infinity War. At the end of Infinity War, I didn't believe anyone was gonna die. I mean, Chadwick Boseman obviously ended up dead in real life, but the whole point is that when he died, I'm like, come on. He's the second most popular character in this entire franchise now. You're not gonna kill him off. Well, they did. But it was like his death was like to me, all those deaths at the end of Infinity War felt cheap because you knew they weren't really dead. Why do I have a silver mic, by the way? Sell the weed. And the hardwood. I guess I could sell the clump of 30. I'm not opposed to that. Yep, I'll take that cash. This is a very long video about the Japanese box office, but it's too bad I don't have my house yet, Nook. Yeah, let me see what that silver mic's about. It sounds like something I should be selling. Like how it just fell out of a tree, for crying out loud. So what do we got here? DIY recipes. Yeah, there was a new recipe for something. What was it? There it is. I need iron nuggets, of course. Big fat waste of time. You can make the birdhouse at least. So what is this? You can't put things in the plaza. Of course I can't. Why can't I? Why should I have fun in this game? So I can't like sing in the plaza? Yeah, it's an actual mic, so I guess I'm selling it. Okay, there was supposed to be some Nook miles for having some indoor stuff, right? Craft tools. Chop wood from trees. I need to break 4 more tools. Assess 18 more of those. Sell more weed. Plant more flowers. Water your flowers. Plant 20 more trees. Sell 10 more peaches. I can actually do that. So the mic doesn't count as indoor furniture. I'm selling that crap. Give me that. We're gonna literally drop the mic. Actually, we already did. So we're gonna take it to the store and sell it. Yeah. So I was afraid this was gonna be happening. It's just I'm in that liminal space where there's nothing interesting to do in this game. I need one more fruit. Give me one more fruit. Any more peaches around here I haven't gotten? Yeah, I think I've already grabbed all the peaches I have access to from these areas of the game, unfortunately. I guess I can just sell I guess I shouldn't have eaten that one peach, huh? Yeah, I guess I could sell the other, so whatever. So anything else? Yeah, I'm selling the mic. Okay, so I have to come back tomorrow and do something more. Again, I think I'm at that point where I'm like, yeah, done. I'm gonna cut bait on this one. If it gets more interesting, I'm not willing to go online to find out until later, I guess. So let's sell the mic. Okay, we'll sell all the peaches. I guess I could sell those tree branches. And no more Nook miles. Guess when I come back, I will have a house, one hopes. Let's see what the deal is.